So Mark's gospel begins with the voice of one crying out in the wilderness. I think John, just in a very tangible way, reminds us of the importance of being an otherworldly witness. Can you imagine what this voice crying out in the wilderness would say to us today, to the church? I think he would tell us to wake up. I think he would call us to repent of our complacency and our idolatry. Right? It's clear Jesus has nothing to repent of, and yet in submitting to this baptism, he identified with you and me so that he might live a perfect life of righteousness on our behalf and die the death that we deserve. And so last week we saw that Jesus was a man on a mission. And this week we see that he's a man with a message. Belief that we're called to. It's more than just mental assent, right? It's more than just believing a certain list of facts in our head. In fact, the demons believe in those things. You realize that? I think about James 2:19. It says, "You believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe and shudder." Well, you know what the demons also believe? The demons also believe that Jesus is the Christ who came to save sinners. They know that. The demons believe that he lived, died, and rose again for the forgiveness of sins, right? They believe that, but they don't believe in that. I think what this shows us is that we must penetrate beyond the surface to see people can say the exact same words, and there can be a world of difference between the demons who say you are the Holy One of God and the 12 disciples who, even after Jesus teaching these hard teachings and everyone walking away, they stay with him and they say, "You are the Holy One of God." Same words, but completely different responses. I fear that many churches and ministries of our day have created far more fans of Jesus than followers of Jesus. If we see that if prayer was such a priority for Jesus, how much more do I, a feeble sinner who is prone to wonder, how much more do I need prayer? We wonder why we as individuals and as churches are so lacking in power. I think it's because we need to pray. So here Jesus states the purpose, why he came out. You get that? I mean, this is actually a pretty big statement here. Right? He says, so he's gone out to pray. The disciples come to him and say, "Hey, everybody's been looking for you." He says, "Okay, now let's go out and I'm going to preach, for this is why I came out." And so here in our story this morning, the leper, he does not make that same mistake. He doesn't say, "If you can." He says, "If you will." And so we must have this same mindset, right? It's never a question if Jesus can, but rather if he will. The first line goes like this: "Come, ye sinners, poor and needy, weak and wounded, sick and sore. Jesus ready stands to save you, full of pity, love, and power."